Over the years, Apex Legends has had its fair share of meta guns. Season by season, a new gun comes in through buffs or nerfs and ushers in a new era of meta. But with those metas, there have always been guns that no matter what are good and you can always count on them to be solid choices. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down 5 of the best guns to start using so that no matter what happens in the meta you always have go-to guns. But if you guys want to learn everything you can about these guns, plus in-depth legend guides, VOD reviews, and much more, you definitely want to check out the GameLeap website. We have tons of content from high-level players that you will not find anywhere else, I promise you that. So if you want to jumpstart your climb to Diamond, Masters, or even Predator, click the link in the description and get your membership today. When I talk about solid guns that don't change from meta to meta, I'm sure that everyone has their own idea that pops up in their head. Something they personally use day in and day out, and if it works for you, then hey, all the power to you. These are just a collection of guns that I think will give you a solid pool to pick from so that you can always be putting in work for your team no matter what, and what better place to start than with the R301. The R301 has seen its fair share of dips in popularity. Back in Season 2, they did hit it pretty hard with the nerf and its play rate did fall for a bit. But through everything, it still has remained a solid go-to gun for veteran and new players alike because it has stable recoil, making it very easy to control. Plus, it doesn't need a lot of attachments in order to start being useful. You kind of do need at least a level 1 light mag to be able to one-clip a bit more reliably, but other than that, you're still going to be able to put in a lot of work in the fight no matter what. This gun also has amazing projectile speed on its bullets. It has the 3rd highest in the class. This makes hitting your shots a lot easier because the less travel time in the air the bullets have, the less time the enemies have to dodge them. Where this gun kind of falls off and has its disadvantages is the hipfire. The hipfire is still pretty good, and a lot of people may be confused about what I'm saying, but when stacked up against other ARs or even some other guns of different classes, the hipfire isn't as good. Also, it has very low per bullet damage compared to other ARs, doing 14 a shot to the body versus non-fortified legends and 12 if they are fortified. This can be an issue if you are having a bad spray day or they are just good at strafing because you can get punished very hard for missing just a few shots. But overall, the gun is very good and definitely one I recommend you add to your weapon pool. Now the next gun that we're going to cover moves away from the ARs. This is a marksman rifle, and no, it's not the triple take, it's the 30-30 repeater. The 30-30 came into the game a little bit lackluster. It had decent damage, but it wasn't anything amazing or something to drop everything to pick up. The flatline had anvil receivers and the wingman was still just a better choice. But some recent changes have made this gun absolutely insane. On the right legend like Gibraltar, you will be putting in so much work for your team and helping tons in fights. This gun does 42 damage to the body of a non-fortified legend and 36 to one that is fortified. And with the addition of dual shell, this gun can run 2 different hop-ups, both of them being extremely useful in their own way. Shattercast makes the 30-30 rival some shotguns in close range, giving you tons of flexibility in your playstyle, and dual shell makes it so that you can spam more shots out and trade a lot better because you aren't reloading as long. The 30-30, you have to reload individual shells, so if you were taking extended fights, you were reloading for a lot of time. Now, I do understand that hop-ups come and go, and these probably will not be in the game forever and probably will only be here for a couple more seasons at most. But the hop-ups aren't what make this gun good. The gun is already good, they just complement it. They are more quality of life stuff, they aren't needed in order to succeed. So if you are looking to pick up a marksman rifle, I highly suggest the 30-30. Now we can move into gun number 3, and that is the C.A.R SMG. Now the C.A.R was introduced in Season 11, so it hasn't gotten a whole lot of time to be fully understood where it falls in the meta and how useful it is. You do have to remember that it even took Valkyrie a couple seasons to be placed in the meta and for people to realize how amazing she was. Players need time to test and to fully push things to their limit when it comes to determining or not whether it's good. And the C.A.R, I feel, is in that purgatory stage right now. There are people who run it and do very well because it is a good gun, but I feel it will take a well-known streamer or pro player running it in order to get it jump-started in the meta. The C.A.R has the highest DPS of all the SMGs currently, and while buffs and nerfs can change that, I feel with how under the radar it's been flying, it won't change much. Even if another one takes over, the C.A.R's damage numbers will still be solid and it is a good pickup to have in your arsenal. It also has a ton of flexibility options when it comes to what ammo you can run, making it so you can play around what's more readily available in that game and be able to help your team by dropping some if they are needed. I probably will be running the C.A.R a lot more often in my up and coming games. Now, what if shotguns are more your style? Well, the shotguns in Apex have always been very good. The PK had a stage where it did 160 to the head, and it was so much fun being one-tapped with white armor by a shotgun. But the shotty I recommend using right now is the MASTIFF. While it no longer hits for 112 damage a shot, it still can do massive amounts of damage. And unlike the Peacekeeper, the MASTIFF has a built-in choke that is automatic. As soon as you ADS, your bullets are less spread apart and make them hit a lot harder. With how much they have changed shotguns recently, I don't think we will be getting any hard changes done to them anytime soon, so the MASTIFF will probably remain a solid choice to pick up at least for a few seasons. And even then, they would have to do some hardcore changes to the shotgun meta in order to drop it out of the spot that it is in currently. If you are going to pick up the MASTIFF, just know that you want to start quickscoping when using it. That way you get the strafe speed from the hipfire, but the choke is instant when you ADS, so you get the benefit of choking it when quickscoping. Also, stop flicking to your targets when using it. I see a lot of people try to flick the MASTIFF and it's a horrible way to use it. You want to track with it. Flicking can lead to pellets not hitting and less damage. Tracking is a far superior way to use the gun. Now, the next gun I want to talk about was a toss-up between a sniper and an LMG, but I feel the way the current state of the game is going, I want to talk about the Devotion. Through most of Apex's history, the Devotion was an extremely impressive gun. It always has been a huge asset to teams. But with the Spitfire being as broken as it was, and now the introduction of the Rampage, I feel a lot of people have forgotten about how amazing the Devotion actually is. Now, where this gun does have its downsides is you need a turbocharger. If it doesn't have one, you can't really contest a lot of straight up gunfights in close range. You will most likely lose them. However, if you are able to let your team draw fire and be in the back line laying down tons of bullets over everyone and allow the gun to spin up, you will be a huge help to your team. It does have a hard to learn recoil pattern, but if you are able to go into the firing range and practice it a little bit, you will be flattening people all over the place with how fast this gun kills and how much damage you can be dishing out. The Devotion was one of my favorite guns to use way back in the day when I first started scrimming. It helped me win a ton of games with how amazing I could be when I was in the support role, so if you are a support on your team, try picking up this gun. The Rampage also will most likely be getting a damage reduction again because of how many people are complaining about it, so this is a perfect time to start learning the Devotion. Guns will always have a time and place in the meta for Apex, but these are the ones that are always solid pickups and will have huge potential to helping your team and your personal climbs into higher ranks. If you guys learned anything from this video and want to stay up to date with even more Apex Legends tips and tricks, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming and I will see you in the next one.